You're listening to the T21 podcast, brought to you by Down Syndrome Group of the Ozarks. Our mission is to bring life and wellness to families who are advocating towards a community of inclusion for individuals with Down syndrome.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the T21 podcast. We're so thankful you're here joining us today. I'm Ben Ward, sitting alongside my co-host Chloe Jones.
Hello.
We have a great conversation today. We welcome Mike and Mary Jeppsen onto the podcast. They are parents to Sarah Jeppsen. For those of you that have listened before, we had on our podcast earlier this year, and it was an absolute blast. So I'm excited to hear from you guys and learn a little bit more about your family, but also kind of some recent things that have been going on, a trip that you guys took and were a part of. And so I think we're just going to have a conversation today, and we're just going to get right into it. So welcome, first off. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. It's nice to be here, and we're excited.
Yeah. So let's begin with, for those who don't know you, tell us I'm going to make it difficult on you, in 2 to 3 minutes, kind of a little bit about your family, maybe a little bit about Sarah and you guys as well.
Okay. We are a large family. We have 11 children. Sarah is the youngest. She calls herself the caboose. And the age ranges from, she's 28, and I think our oldest daughter is 54. So we've got a big family. Sarah was kind of a surprise. I didn't think I was going to have any more children, and she just popped up after I had had 2 miscarriages and had decided we just aren't going to have any more kids, and that's just fine. And there was Sarah. And so we have lived in Northwest Arkansas. That's where she was born. And then 4.5 years ago, we traveled to Dauphin Island and bought a house there and lived there for 4.5 years. And now we're back in Springfield. We have 8 daughters and 3 sons, 19 grandkids, busy family, and everybody's all over the world. Our farthest is in Sydney, Australia, and our closest is here in Springfield. So,
So cool.
Sarah's from a very large, supportive family.
That's awesome. Well, selfishly, we can say we are very thankful you guys are here in Springfield. Sarah has been a blessing and a joy to meet and learn more about and get to know. And for those that have listened know that she has an area downstairs at our Upside Down Mercantile where she has her photography and stuff. And it's just great to talk to her. So we're thankful for her and thankful for you guys for being here. So
Yeah, we echo that. It was really nice for Sarah to have something here when we got here. And what DSDO is doing has really been a benefit for her.
Yes.
And we're very grateful for it.
We're so glad. I remember when we got your email saying that you guys were moving here and that you had a gallery in Alabama. I was like intimidated. I'm like, oh, they're doing it. Like, they're gonna come in here and be like, what's going on? But it's been like so amazing having you guys be a part of our community and getting to know Sarah. And now she's like one of my best friends. So how cool. Very quick too.
So recently, you guys attended the National Down Syndrome Congress Convention, also known as the NDSC Conference, when we're just talking about it. So you guys went there as learners, but also as presenters, correct? So let's start off with the learning side, if you don't mind. I was looking at the schedule and I saw that there were, like over 100 topics that were taught on, which is absolutely incredible. Were there any sessions that you guys were able to sit in that you're just like, I'm so glad I got to listen to this person, or I've learned this? Is any feedback on any of that?
Want to go?
Well, okay. So this was our 5th time. They do it every year. They do it in a different city. This is the 2nd time. This year was the 2nd time we've been to Orlando, but otherwise we were in Phoenix and Dallas and New Orleans. So, and next year it'll be in Denver. So it is a commitment to go.
Yeah.
There are thousands of people there, between 1 and 2,000 Down syndrome. It has been called the happiest place on earth. If you stand still for more than 30 seconds, you're liable to be hugged. But what has happened to us is that we got there and we found out there's a lot of serious research being done. There's a lot of good presentations that talk about the problems, what it's like to be Downs, what are the medical problems, what are some of the issues they face, what are the social problems, etc. And there's people pretty much know what they're talking about, giving presentations. As you mentioned, we did present. This was our first time presenting at the conference. We did one on marriage, how to have a Down syndrome child and stay married. But we were there primarily for Sarah and for us to learn and as learners. So, honey, you want to talk about?
Yeah, the thing that I love to go to the medical stuff. I mean, there are presentations on toilet training, adolescence, sexuality, Alzheimer's and Down syndrome, autoimmune diseases and Down syndrome. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. And the thing that blew my mind this time, I think it took me 5 years to figure out how to really work this conference, is that there is a network of researchers all over the world studying Down syndrome now. And there were really no studies using Down syndrome until like 2017 or 18.
Yeah.
That is really crazy, right?
Yeah.
And now there are studies on Alzheimer's disease because Down syndrome people are more likely to get Alzheimer's because they have that extra chromosome on number 21, and that will produce more of that amyloid protein. So there are studies on Alzheimer's, there are studies on autoimmune, and why do Down syndrome people tend to have more autoimmune deficiencies than the typical person? And why are they less likely to have tumors and heart disease? I mean, it's crazy, right? I mean, there are certain things you do not have to worry about if you have a Down syndrome child in general, but there are certain things you do. So my favorite things are to listen to what the current research is, and to also find out about the different studies that your children can be part of. One thing I would want to really share with everybody is there's a network called DS Connect. And it's like a clearinghouse for all the studies. And so if you log into this DS Connect and give your information, and then you give your information about your child, it spits out a whole page of recommendations that you can hand to your PCP, and it spits out your child's medical history. And in addition to that, you're added to all the different studies. And if there's a study that's appropriate for you, they will let you know, and your child can be part of it. When we were at the conference, I think it was last year, we met someone from KU, and they were doing a nutritional study having to do with Alzheimer's, talking about losing weight. And our daughter, Sarah, has struggled with her weight, which is very typical of people with Down syndrome. And we had tried this and that and this and that. Nothing worked. So we enrolled her in the study. She's lost 70 pounds in a year. She's like a different person. She's so much happier, so much more confident. And we're also contributing to the world by having her part of this study. And there are lots of other studies you can be part of as well. So that's a thing that stands out to me, because she's 28, she's toilet trained, and we've dealt with the dating thing. She has a little boyfriend, that kind of thing. But I'm more interested in, how can I keep her healthy?
Yeah.
And what are the things I have to watch for? What are the tests she has to have? And how can she be of benefit to the greater community by being part of all these research studies? So
What I love to hear is that it sounds like from newborn to long adulthood, like there's something for almost any type of family at this
Yes.
conference, to learn with all the topics that they offer, which is great to hear that all these topics are being offered. But I also want to know, are there any conversations that you kind of wish were being had at a conference or a convention like this? And if the answer is no, if you're like, no, man, they were covering everything, then that's great. But also, you guys say, you were saying Sarah's 28, so you've been in this in this community for a while. Are there any conversations at these conferences that you would like to hear more about?
Well, one thing I don't want to be the only one talking, but one thing I felt wasn't being covered was marriage and how to navigate marriage, particularly as a young couple with a special needs child, and often maybe you might have other children, and how difficult that is. So I just wrote to them and said, hey, this hasn't been covered. I feel like it would be a pertinent topic. And they said, go for it. And so that's how we got to present. And they didn't come looking for us. We're not rich. We're not famous. We're not anything. We're just two old people who have navigated life. But they were very responsive. And that was the only thing I felt that really wasn't covered.
Okay.
Friendships are covered. Relationships are covered. And if anybody's thinking about going to the conference, there's a little camp for your younger children. Yeah. There is a camp for the older young adults. There is a siblings camp. There are so many. They think about everything basically for everyone, and it's a little pricey, I would say. So it's something you might want to save for over the year, but well worth it. You have anything else to say on that?
Well, there's a whole social side too we haven't really specifically mentioned yet, and many Down syndrome kids are very social. Sarah is, and she gets to visit.
You wouldn't say
all her friends. She loves it. She sees her old friends from Mobile, from when we were down there, because they come, and she meets new people, and they have these dances. You haven't lived till you've been in a room with 1,000 Down syndrome kids dancing.
It makes me want to cry. I wish I was there.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
So there's all of that there, and they get to see they're not really alone. If they ever feel that way, being in the regular local world they live in, they see that there's all these other people just like them. And I think that it's very validating for them.
Yeah, giving Sarah that experience, I think, is very important for her to be in a situation where she's seeing people that look like her. I mean, we have a grandson who's Chinese, and when he was born, they have a little slanty eyes a little bit, right? When he was born, she said, he looks like me. And it struck me that nobody else in the family has the same features as Sarah. And she pointed that out with our grandson. So for her to be in an environment where everybody looks like her and all different abilities, it's just good for her. It's like going to a foreign country and meeting an American. Finally, somebody who speaks my language, that kind of thing.
Now, there's something we haven't mentioned yet. Maybe you were going to bring it up. There is an exhibit hall. It's huge. And it's open the whole conference. And in fact, our local chapter had a double booth there this time.
Upside Down did.
But there's a lot of things you can learn from going through that exhibit hall. You want to talk about the glasses thing?
Oh, yeah. Well, Down syndrome people have a little bit of a flat forehead thing here. And Sarah had glasses. She refused to wear them because they would go down on her face all the time. Well, there's an outfit that makes special glasses for Down syndrome people. And that's where we get her glasses. She wears them all the time now. There were people with reading programs, and there was a guy with a communication thing for cell phones so that kids could make their own lists and their caretakers could connect with all that. So there's a raft of opportunity there that isn't even formally in the sessions, and we've learned a lot from that. And just to put a plug in for Upside Down Mercantile, we are on the cutting edge, guys. There is no one else that I know of that does what Upside Down does. People were coming by and just like, and I wasn't even working the booth, but hearing it from Scott, people were coming by and saying, oh, I wish I had this in our area for my child. Because you've got a kid with special needs. Maybe you've got other kids, but you want the older child to have something to do, something that's meaningful. But not everybody has a wherewithal to start a business on their own. It's hard. It's a lot of work, and it's financially difficult. And Upside Down has made it possible for anybody to come in and say, I would like to make mandalas, or I would like to sell my photography, or lip balm, all the things that we sell. And there's nobody else doing this as far as I know. So I was so proud.
Yeah,
to be
it was
part of
cool
that.
for Scott and the team to be able to take down a little bit of all the products. I think Upside Down Mercantile, I think, is up to
24.
24. Whoa, I'm way off. 24 different products being sold by individuals with Down syndrome. It's pretty incredible. And so to be able to take that to the conference and
Yeah, not even products, brands.
Yeah.
We have probably over 700 products.
True.
I know, because I
true.
put them all into the system.
Yeah.
But it's just, so cool that, and Sarah got to work the booth.
Yeah, Sarah worked the booth 2 days and had so much fun. It was so
Oh.
funny too, because people would come by and say, I've seen Sarah online. I've seen her on TikTok. Is she here?
Oh, yeah.
She was so proud.
Oh, I bet. She was like, I'm famous.
Famous.
Well, I'm glad you guys are bringing up other things besides just the topics, because I did want to know, for families that may be thinking about going to this type of conference or something like that, I want them to understand it's not just all just sitting in rooms and listening to speakers. Now that's a big part of it, because that's what you're going there for. But did you guys have like a favorite time or favorite moment during the conference that wasn't session based? I know you mentioned the dancing, but anything else that, like, for you two as parents, that were just like, man, we're just having a blast and nobody's teaching us anything?
Well, the best thing, and what most people do, is stay in the hotel where the conference is, because there's so much going on that it's better just to be there. And if you add travel to that, then you got parking problems and expense, et cetera. So if you stay in, then that means after the sessions are done, now you're walking around and there's all these other parents, and we're all in the same boat. You have a natural opening to talking with other people and meeting them, starting to develop relationships, and sit and have dinner with them, or sit and have a Coke with them, or even a drink. There's other, there's lots of places. Each of the motels has different types of restaurants, and they do have a meal plan
Okay.
if you want to go
I was
that
curious
way.
about that.
So, everything is provided. It is, for the regular wage earner, somewhat expensive. You got to plan for this. So you got to decide this is worth it for you.
Yeah.
And we've gone 5 times, and it's been worth it every time. So there's that. So you have that opportunity for a social connection, and you even get to talk to the presenters if you want to. They make themselves available.
The doctors are right there for you.
And that's how we got involved with the study at KU. And Mary mentioned we struggled with Sarah being overweight, and we tried. It seemed like we tried. To us, we tried, and nothing ever worked. And now this has worked. So just being there, talking to the presenters, getting involved with the program, that wouldn't have happened if we had to look it up and figure it out and find it ourselves. That's the thing. When you go there, everything is laid out.
Yeah.
It's kind of overwhelming, to be honest.
Yeah.
When you were saying, is there anything else? I'm sure there is, but I didn't get to everything that was there.
Yeah, I was looking at the 4-day schedule or 3.5-day schedule, and it was jam packed. I mean, there's a lot to do for sure.
Yeah.
So briefly, I do want to touch on, because we did mention you guys were presenters, and you mentioned it a little bit as well. I'm gonna make it difficult on you again because it's gonna probably be hard to do. But in like 2 minutes, minute and a half to 2 minutes, for those for the listeners, could you give kind of like a synopsis of your entire session, or like maybe just the main point? Was there a main point that you were hoping the people at the conference could walk away with, that our listeners could walk away
And then we'll
with?
have you back on to do the whole
Yeah,
thing
right.
for everything.
Just teach it
Oh,
up.
they won't have to, because I'll do it real quick. My biggest concern was giving them something that they could go home with that was useful.
Mhm.
They didn't need to hear how hard it is or what their struggles might be, because everybody has struggles. They know what their struggles are. So we went into it kind of briefly, talking about how difficult it is and some of the challenges they do have, which they knew about. And then we gave them some specific tools to use to enhance their intimacy and communication and connection. And that's basically what it was. We give them like 3 or 4 specific things that we use in marital therapy that they could use when they go home to renew their relationships. And it was interesting. The people in our group, there were like 30 people there, which is kind of the average for the nobody who's talking. Now, the big name guys, they have a much bigger room because they want to hear about all these studies and stuff. And there were people, there were young couples and there were older couples in our group, right? There was one young girl who came and her husband was going somewhere else to another one, and she was, so that's basically, you did too, wanted to just give them some practical things they could take home and use to help. Because I think sometimes when you have a special needs child, that child becomes your focus and you forget to take care of your marriage. And you can do real well. You can be married for 50 years like that. Yeah. It's not necessarily going to break your marriage, but you need each other and you need that closeness. And sometimes you lose it. And maybe you depend on your child too much, especially if your child has Down syndrome, because they are sensitive and loving. But the theme was your Down syndrome child understands relationships in a way that you don't. They see things and they need you to present your best connection because they know when you're not connected.
So good.
So,
and you do that not by concentrating on them.
Yeah.
Even though that's a major part of your life, and it should be, but by taking time for each other and even your own independent needs.
Yeah.
I remember whenever Sarah first started working with me, when you guys would come in, she would be like, "Those are my parents. They love each other." And I thought that was so beautiful, especially in our community, seeing a lot of broken marriages from, just life. But hearing her say that and just looking at the love between you guys, it's been really special to see. So
she's adamant. If we get
she
mad
says
at
it a
each
lot.
other,
That wasn't the only time she said it. She says it a lot.
When we get mad at each other, she'll say, one time I remember she said, "Sit down." At this, and she had created a playlist for us, and she made us listen to all these love songs.
Oh.
So I mean, she's very sensitive, and she's not the only sensitive child with Down syndrome. They understand. They know when we're not gelling in a way that maybe a typical child might not.
Yeah. And that's such good advice for, obviously we're, the focus is on Down syndrome with the podcast and everything, but that's great advice for any parent too. It really is. So, well, Mike and Mary, it's been a joy to be able to sit here and talk with you guys. And we're not a plug for the NDSC conference, but I did want to let people know, because we've mentioned it, next year it is in Denver. I had it pulled up here. It's July 15th through the 18th in Denver, Colorado. And it sounds like you guys are huge proponents and encouragers of those that are able to go even just once and get to know a little bit. Anything you want to end on with the conference of, just ways that I don't even know, just anything that you want to end about the conference and how great it is?
Well, I would like to say, if you can't go to the conference, which a lot of people can't, there are all kinds of resources online, and the DSGO Coffee Talk will often have connections to webinars and seminars that are free. So take advantage of those. They're good. They're really good. And if you can't go to the conference, just take advantage of those, because knowledge is power, and we need to know what we can do to help our kids live their best lives.
Well, thanks so
Love
much for joining us. We
Thank
really appreciate
you.
it. For the listeners, I'm sure Chloe or I, one of us, can throw the website for the NDSC
Yeah.
conference
I'll have it
onto
all
this
in the description.
podcast. We'll have it in the description for you guys. And as always, if you're not liking or following our stuff, we're on all of the platforms now.
Sweet.
Yeah, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, we're on them all. We're still on YouTube. If you want to see our faces, you're more than welcome to watch us on there as well. But go on there,
Or don't.
like it, subscribe to it so you know when the next episode's coming up. And we would love for you guys to share these episodes. Go back and listen to a year's worth, and it's just some really incredible conversations, such as with families like the Jeppsens, or even advocates for the Down syndrome community in different areas. We had a great topic last month with Ashley, I forgot her last name.
Allison Berry.
Allison Berry, sorry. I apologize, but absolutely incredible episode. And so go back and listen to some. Help us share that and get the information out for everybody to either learn or to be educated by. So anyway, Chloe, thanks for joining me today. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. We really appreciate it. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next month.
See ya. If you would like to learn more about Upside Down Mercantile, you can go to shopupsidedown.com or visit us on Commercial Street in Springfield, Missouri. If you have a topic you'd like to know more about, you can email them to info@dsgo.life.